And hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon for the Catholic Charities of East Tennessee's 6th annual 365 Days of Hope virtual event. Like everything else in 2020, we're going virtual this time around, so as you're just now joining us, a lot of you logging on right now, we're so happy you're with us. Obviously it is lunchtime, so sit back, grab a sandwich, whatever you're doing, a hot dog, because we got a baseball theme going on today, and enjoy. And we've got a lot that we're going to be bringing to you. I'm Bo Williams with WATE, 6 on your side. Happy to be here, your host for today. In a little bit, we'll be joined by Tony Vitello, the head baseball coach at the University of Tennessee. We're happy to have him here. He'll be our keynote speaker. And again, it kind of goes back to why we've got this baseball theme. We've got the popcorn, we've got the Cracker Jacks, we've even got the helmets. Now, when I was a kid, these things were filled like with ice cream, right? But today we'll use these as a little bit of a scoop. We'll get some Cracker Jacks, we'll sit back, we'll snack, and we'll have a great time. As again, we hope to hear from you throughout the course of this broadcast. So as you know, what we're doing here today, the proceeds from this event are going to benefit Catholic Charity of East Tennessee's Children's Emergency Shelter, or CES for short. And you'll hear us say CES a lot, so that's what we're referring to. If you don't know what it is, let's do a little history here for a moment. The shelter is really a safe haven for children removed from their homes. This is due to allegations of abuse or neglect. We're going to show you some video you see right here of what it's like on the inside. These kids are awaiting longer-term placement. It's a 24-hour, 365 days a year program that accepts children from birth to the age of 17. Now, the goal is to assist the courts really in keeping these children out of state's custody and, if at all possible, placing them with appropriate relatives, really providing them with needed support services. CES is the only shelter, we need to point this out, it is the only shelter of its kind in all of Knox County. So it serves Knox County. It's going to be branching out in some other areas as well. We did a little research. You know, last year in the state of Tennessee alone, 6,800 children were removed from their homes. That is a lot of kids. So what's going on here is an opportunity for these children, instead of going into state's custody, they get to go somewhere where it's more of a home feel. Your money, your dollars that you're donating, helping these kids. It provides meals, crafts. You saw the Play-Doh there just a moment ago. Gives them some normalcy and helps keeping them moving forward with their education, so they don't slow down at any point, fall through the cracks. It's a tough time what they're going through, you can only imagine. And so we're just trying to keep it as normal and as moving forward as we possibly can. Now, over the course of today's event, we know that you're going to find a lot of the stories, and we've got a lot of stories we're going to be bringing to you today. They're going to be engaging, and you'll kind of really come to understand just how important the shelter is really for the community, for all of Knoxville, for these children, for these families. So many people that it impacts daily. And again, this goes 365 days a year. So with that, we're going to move forward. It's my pleasure right now to introduce Lisa Healy, the Executive Director of Catholic Charities of East Tennessee.
Hi, my name is Lisa Healy. I'm the Executive Director at Catholic Charities. We are thrilled to have you join us today to share the Children's Emergency Shelter and the many stories of love and hope that make the shelter such a special place. The stories will tug on your heartstrings and show the importance of why the shelter is such a critical part of our community. Let's take a moment. If you would, just close your eyes. Remember when your child or a child you know was first born? Family and friends gathered with joy around the newborn, the first moments, hours, and days of its short life. Now imagine that same tiny infant, just days old, and something going terribly wrong in the family. And that little newborn is removed from its home and is brought to the Children's Emergency Shelter. This really happens. Our youngest newborn this year was just 4 days old. Our trained staff and volunteers are now the loving arms that hold and care for that precious child and that precious life. The Children's Emergency Shelter is a safe place for children anytime, day or night. When a child's environment becomes uncertain, unstable, when things go bump in the night, a child finds safety, security, love, and hope at the shelter. By supporting us today, you are giving our community's children the love and support they most desperately need and deserve. Thank you. Come with me again and let's think back on our own life. Let's say around 13 years old. A time of discovery, learning, awkwardness, dreaming of who am I going to be when I grow up, making new friends, playing sports, learning about your new school. You can remember. Now think about being 13 years old, being ripped away from the only home you've ever known, taken far away to a strange city, unable to understand or speak English, where you are trafficked and forced to do unspeakable things. This too really happened to a child, and the Children's Emergency Shelter was her place of refuge and light, and a place she began healing. Well, these are the children we care for every week at the shelter. We see their happy endings too. Our 4-day-old tiny infant was placed with relatives where she was welcomed and loved and cared for. And our 13-year-old was finally reunited with her family where she continued her healing. Helping the community's children in a vulnerable, uncertain time, providing shelter, food, love, safety, and hope is why we do what we do and why the Children's Emergency Shelter is so important to our community. Our work for the kids is so compelling that Coach Vitello will join us soon in support and will share words of motivation and inspiration. We will also hear from the Honorable Judge Tim Irwin, who sees the impact and the importance of the shelter in his work daily. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you for your financial support. It is now my pleasure to introduce a longtime friend to the Children's Emergency Shelter and Board of Trustee Committee Chair, Ralph Christiana. He will share more about this very special shelter and how you can partner with our mission. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Lisa, and thanks to all of you out there for joining us today. This is an important day for Catholic Charities as we take necessary steps into the world of virtual events. But of course, it is an even more important day for the children served by the Children's Emergency Shelter. Children who are unquestionably the most vulnerable among us, no matter the health, social, economic, or political environment in which we find ourselves. I ask that you listen carefully today to the stories Lisa mentioned a few moments ago. When you do, you will quickly understand what makes the shelter such a place of light in a sometimes dark world. A welcoming sanctuary for children in need, and why your financial support of this unique facility is so vital. Children who, for whatever reason, need a safe and loving place to stay will always find that love and safety at the Children's Emergency Shelter. And today, I'm asking you to consider what you can do financially to support this essential Catholic Charities program. Our financial goal today is $65,000. I am convinced that with your help, we will not only meet, but exceed that goal. Since we have the good fortune today of having UT head baseball coach Tony Vitello as our keynote speaker, we have created the most valuable player level of giving for this event. You can become an MVP this afternoon without picking up a bat or throwing a pitch. You can be that MVP by donating just $365. That's $1 a day over the course of a year. Your support at this level will purchase enough diapers and supplies to keep our shelves stocked for an entire year for the infants and toddlers that the shelter serves. Or that $1 a day will supply much needed hot meals and snacks for the kids, some of whom have gone without a hot meal or proper nutrition during a time of crisis in their young lives. Or your contribution will purchase art and craft supplies for the entire year so that a child can explore his or her creative side and maybe realize that the world can be full of light and color with the right encouragement and in the right environment. If $1 a day is not feasible, we welcome any donation you can make. And no matter at what level you donate, we encourage you to make it a sustaining gift, either weekly, monthly, quarterly, or however you feel comfortable. In this way, your contribution will provide ongoing financial support for the work at the shelter and will continue for as long as you can give. And remember, every dollar raised today will go directly to the care of the children who come through the door at the Children's Emergency Shelter. And to make it as easy as possible in our digital, virtual, online world, you can use text messaging on your smartphone to make your donation. Just text 365-HOPE to the number that you see on the screen, and you will find several options on how you can provide support. Again, all you need to do is text 365-HOPE, that's 365-HOPE, to the number on your screen. Please consider the at-risk children who find themselves in difficult and dangerous situations and who are in immediate need of a safe and loving environment. The Children's Emergency Shelter is that environment, a safe haven of light that overcomes the darkness in which these children find themselves. It is the place these children need when they need it most. The work that the case managers and volunteers do at the shelter is worth your investment and your continued support. Now, as a baseball fan and the father of 3 children who graduated from the University of Tennessee, one of whom was a mascot at UT baseball games, I am very much looking forward to hearing Coach Vitello speak this afternoon. But what I am most looking forward to are the financial contributions that you out there will make to this truly worthy Catholic Charities program. So I'm asking you to be generous this afternoon. Become an MVP, make a donation, make it meaningful, and know that it goes to support the most important emergency program aiding at-risk children in our community. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, Lisa, Ralph, thank you so very much for everything that you do and for taking some time to be a part of this broadcast today. You saw some of the faces there of the kids. And as we mentioned earlier, this impacts children from birth to 17, and you saw it there. And those are just some of the kids that have benefited from the shelter, and there's so many more that will be coming through there, and that's why we need you to help us out today. Of course, we can't do this without sponsors, and today we want to recognize those that have really stepped up. There are a number of them. They all have a baseball theme, if you will, which is what I love. So our Grand Slam sponsor, Covenant Health. I never hit a Grand Slam in baseball, but hey, Covenant Health, you hit one with us today, so we appreciate all of your help. We also have a handful of home run sponsors. I never hit a home run either, but Public Supermarket Charities and Regal Foundation, both hitting home runs for us today. And again, we're so proud to have them a part of this. And I never hit a triple either, but Advanced Mailing Systems gets the triple. They're the triple sponsor today. So again, we appreciate all of them. And of course, the media sponsor, WATE 6 on your side, which we're very proud to be a part of. Also, Tony Vitello, our radio sponsor as well. So Tony, thank you so very much for everything that you do. So we're so proud that everybody's on board. I also want to take a moment here to kind of thank everyone as far as our special friends with Catholic Charities and the Diocese of Knoxville. Bishop Sticka, since we're sticking with the baseball theme, first of all, thank you for everything you do for this community. Cannot say enough, but since we're sticking with the baseball theme, better luck next year on your Cardinals. We'll keep a good thought for you. Jim Wogan, thank you, sir, my former colleague over at WATE. Jim does it all. Matter of fact, he's been tweeting about this event already. So, Jim, thank you for stepping up and always helping us out. And the Catholic Charities of East Tennessee Board of Trustees, everything that you do as well. We are so very, very grateful. Also, a special thanks to the development team for Catholic Charities East Tennessee for navigating the virtual world. Again, it's 2020. Got to do what you got to do, right? And they do a fantastic job facilitating this event. Holly Holloway helping out from Holloway Events, and Matthew Reynolds from Rustic Roots. You can't see them, but I can. Guys, thank you very much for helping us make all of this come to life and helping us to reach out and raise these funds today. So again, thank you for everything that you're doing. We mentioned earlier that Covenant Health is a Grand Slam sponsor. We do want to take a moment and listen to Covenant Health here for a moment.
Hello, I'm John Jeppe, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Covenant Health, the leading healthcare provider in East Tennessee. I've been in my role at Covenant Health for over 20 years and am proud to be a longtime supporter of Catholic Charities. This year we are honored to be the presenting sponsor for the 365 Days of Hope virtual event supporting Columbus Home. During this uncertain and stressful time, many children who are at risk in their home environment need a safe place to stay. The Columbus Homes Ministry is aligned with Covenant's mission. Covenant Health is pleased to be going to bat for Columbus Home and the children it supports.
sponsor. You may see behind me here, behind our Cracker Jacks and our popcorn, we've got the board. We're going to be watching this closely. Ralph already kind of ran you through what you need to be doing to help give, but we're going to remind you again. You're going to be able to text 365-HOPE, and the phone number is 865-413-4252. And we're going to be watching this throughout the course of the next hour here. Our goal, again, 65,000. We're already up. We're pushing that 27,000 mark. This is where you come in. We want to see this all the way up. We got to get the big orange, the color here, all the way to the top here as we hit our goal of $65,000. So again, to do that, you can become an MVP donation level, if you will, sponsor. And to do that, you pledge $365. That is $1 a day. 365 is the key here, right? So $365 equals $1 a day, and you just saw what it goes to. We took you on a little bit of a behind the scenes there of the shelter. You saw some of the kids that benefit from this. Yeah, they've hit a rough patch. Something has happened at home. This is a great place that they can go. It doesn't slow them down. They keep moving forward. They keep progressing. They go to school. They've got the crafts. They've got the meals. They've got the snack time. It's more of a home feel instead of going into state custody. And this is something that really helps out the courts as well. So again, the phone number, can't stress it enough, 865-413-4252. Text 365-HOPE, and that's how you do it. If I can do it, if Coach can do it, he'll be here in a second. Anybody can do it. Trust me, okay? But again, take a few moments, make that pledge. 365, it's $1 a day. All right? And if it was a leap year, it'd be 366. So if you want to up it one, you never know. All right. So we talked about the courts. We want to talk about someone who's really been amazing, and that is the Honorable Judge Tim Irwin, a friend to Catholic Charities and a very familiar face with the Knox County Juvenile Court. Judge Irwin shares his firsthand knowledge of the impact of CES. We would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Knox County Juvenile Court staff and Judge Irwin's team for everything that they do. But take a look from this message here from Judge Irwin.
A lot of folks probably don't understand how important Catholic Charities is to juvenile court. Just adjacent to this building lies a wonderful place called Columbus Home. Unfortunately, at juvenile court, we have problems that come into our building or come to our attention that we don't have the answers for. We have mom and dad who get arrested in the middle of the night. We have children that are scared to go home. We have children that are abandoned and mistreated. And sometimes with just a day or two respite, we can find the right answer, but we can't find it immediately. Those children get to walk into the doors of Columbus Home, which is just across the parking lot from me here on Division Street. And when they walk in, someone welcomes them. It looks like a home environment. They have a hot meal. They have toys to play with. They get to relax and be children for the first time in a long time for many of them. It's such a calming influence. It's so important that we have a place like that so that we can step back and make a good decision. We can contact family members in another state, that we can find the right answer instead of just trying to find an immediate answer, which may not be as strong. We don't want to put children in a foster home in DCS custody without knowing more. And what Columbus Home allows the juvenile court judge and the magistrates to do is find that right answer. And we know the children are going to be safe, looked after, and cared for during that time. When you're taken out of your home in the middle of the night, or even the middle of the afternoon, you're scared. You don't know where you're going to lay your head that night. And that's a horrifying thing for younger children. It's traumatizing. This is a soothing influence right across the parking lot that Knox County desperately needs, and it's such a vital part of what we do, taking care of our children. I have never had a child that was mistreated or not taken care of in any way that's entered the Columbus Home, and it's been a wonderful partnership between the court and a private charity. And of course, being in East Tennessee, we take care of 98% Protestant children at this ministry, just like the other ministries. I want to say thank you to the workers on site, to the director, and to all the people, all the way up to the bishop of the Diocese of Knoxville that make Columbus Home possible and make this partnership with the court so special for the children that we serve. What kids need is certainty. They need to know where they're going to lay their heads down at night. And that's what we try to give them up here as quickly as we can get there. But we want to make the right decisions. Again, that's where Columbus Home comes in, because we don't know immediately a lot of times. And if we put them in custody, it triggers a whole lot of things. And maybe there's Aunt Betty that's just across the state line in Georgia that can get up here tomorrow and make everything okay, and the kids know her and love her and she's perfectly safe. We don't know that right when we get the children. So they get to spend a night or two next door, and it works out perfect for everyone.
Judge Irwin, thank you so very much for taking time to be a part of this today, and we appreciate everything that you do as well. I want to go back to the board here for a moment. We kind of gave you a quick tour of it just a few moments ago, but already we're jumping up, and we appreciate all of you that have contributed so far, up to $27,476.18. So again, thank you. Every little bit helps. So again, we want to see this continuing to rise. Our goal, $65,000. I want to give you that phone number again and what you need to do to help out, and that is you need to text 365-HOPE to 865-413-4252. We've got it all laid out. Every dollar counts. You'll see that when you go online. Goes to bat, if you will, keeping that baseball theme for these children that so desperately need this program to continue, not just, well, continue, but thrive. With your support, that hope will become a reality. So again, text 365-HOPE, 865-413-4252. I want to see this number become that number, and we're on our way there. We're making progress, and hopefully by the end here we'll be up to $65,000. So call your friends, get everybody online, pass the hat if you need to, whatever. We'd love to hear from you and see those donations. We do want to hear more about the Children's Emergency Shelter, though, from Program Director and Coordinator Mandy McKay and Colby Webb. Take a look.
I really couldn't see the gift in front of me. My eyes were too filled with tears, my heart with pain. Where are Mom and Dad? Was it me? Where am I? The only sleep I get is when I'm all cried out. When we first met, I was scared and unsure. No one had ever been that kind to me. Could I trust you? Turns out I could. You held my hand and helped me understand my tears. You taught me to trust and said that I would be okay. You made me feel safe, so there are not as many fears. But I do miss Mom and Dad. Are they all right? You showed me what hope is, and that God loves everyone, even me. I have more good dreams now, where I'm safe and loved because of you.
Hi, my name is Mandy McKay. I'm the program leader for Columbus Home Children's Emergency Shelter.
And my name is Colby Webb, and I'm the program coordinator for the Columbus Home Children's Emergency Shelter. Some things that people may not know about the shelter that we have here is it is a 365-day-a-year program, and there's never a moment that these doors are not open for the most vulnerable youth that are in our area.
So we work closely with direct partnership with Knox County Juvenile Court, the state of Tennessee's Department of Children's Services. We also work with KPD and the Knox County Sheriff's Department. And we've recently started reaching out to other counties in the area. So it's been very nice to be able to open our doors to not just Knox County, but we really have started to expand outwards.
So we're always here to make sure that those kids, whether they're in this area or they're in areas where there's not something quite like this shelter, they have a safe place to come to at all hours of the day, all hours of the night. They're coming straight into the shelter looking for It's a place that's similar to home, but also needing something that's completely different than home.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we are constantly providing that safe, secure environment for them. So the staff that we have here have lots of childcare experience. They're great with working with children that are going through any kind of traumatic things that have happened in their lives. So we make sure that we provide them a bed, of course, shelter. We make sure that we provide them meals. I know last year we served almost over 3,000 meals, I believe. We served over 120 clients for a total of 550 bed nights.
Along with that, we also offer this beautiful playroom that we have that we're in today. We have a playground outside. We provide the clothing. We provide hygiene products. We provide the bedding. We provide the food. We provide a shelter. We provide transportation. And those are all basic necessities that have to happen for everyone while they're here.
And you know what's nice about our program is that we can have up to 6 children. So a lot of the times we get sibling groups. And I know recently we had a large sibling group. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that? They came from a really tough situation.
So yeah, we had recently had a family of 5 that had came to us in the middle of the night that were taken in at 2 a.m. They came from a scenario where they had not seen an adult in the home for the past 3 months. They had not had a good night's sleep in, the 3 months that they had been alone. Once we began to start the process of their intake here, get them adjusted, the next morning they woke up to their hot breakfast. They went to the kitchen, had that, and began to get very ill. At that point, it became very worrisome, so we were able to get them to Children's Hospital to get them the care that they needed. We were able to connect them with a family member that lived in a different state, but had high interest in getting those kids. So they got to not only get back on track with their health, but they got to see somebody that they knew, loved, and hadn't got to see in a long time, and got a complete new start on life.
So that story exactly is one of the amazing reasons why we have this shelter. Just last year, we had over 70 clients actually go back into family homes. A lot of the things that we like to do is keep them out of foster care. Going back into foster care just perpetuates that emotional distress. So going back into the arms of mom and dad are something that we really, really want to create here. And it's sort of like Colby said, we want to make sure that we facilitate those visitations with the approved guardian, whether it's mom, dad, grandparents, or aunts and uncles. We have a space here where they can come over, they can talk with the child, they can play games with the child for an hour, they can talk to him on the phone. So we want to make sure that we are creating that space for the child to be able to continue that bond with mom and dad. Actually seeing those families get back reunited and get back together is something that's really, really heartwarming.
And to that point, that lets us know, those smiling faces, that this shelter really does work. No matter which way you cut it, no matter how you want to look at it, we are getting faces that come in this door that do not have the biggest smiles that they can give. And by the time they're ready to leave, that smile is the complete payment that you need for everything that could have happened while they were here. We couldn't do it without the unwavering support of the community, and we truly thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mandy, Colby, thank you so very much for what you do and taking part in this special today. And again, this just shows you just how special this shelter is and how it really benefits those that occupy it, those children that come through there. And really what you're doing today is life-changing for these kids, the donations that you are making and taking part in this event. So again, we're so happy that you are with us. All right, I'm joined right now. You may notice someone else has popped up here, a very familiar face. You'll see him, especially in the springtime. He's always on TV. He's always interviewing, having to face our cameras, right? Get your hot dogs ready. Get your popcorn ready. Tony Vitello, the head baseball coach at the University of Tennessee, is here. Missouri guy, came to us from Arkansas. And in the short amount of time, we were just talking about that, has really gotten this program at University of Tennessee back on that right path. Omaha, we can see it. It's just around the corner, and we know. So, Coach, thank you for everything you've done, and thanks for coming in here today to be a part of this as well.
Yeah, elated to be involved with the event we have today. Especially excited about free food. Always excited about that.
We should know we've got hot dogs now.
Yeah, we got about everything you can imagine.
So we'll be snacking on these here in a second.
So no, it's been outstanding to be a part of today, but more importantly, was given an inside look at what goes on at one of the shelters a few weeks ago, and added to the perspective that I've already gotten on Catholic Charities. So I know we have a video we're going to take a look at.
Let's do it.
One of the first things we did when we got here was kind of assess the fact that we needed to overachieve in order to catch our competitors, and one way you do that is by working harder, working smarter out here on the field, and the turf allows us to do that. So even though I'm a traditionalist, as are the other coaches, and a lot of fans were, they let us hear it, no one really wanted to see the grass go, but everybody thought the turf benefited our players more than the grass did. So in any situation, you want to choose the option that has the greater value, and it was the turf. Well, this is our batting cage area, but it's also an area for the pitchers to come. We recently built a mound that is dirt, so it can simulate an actual game mound. When our guys are in here due to inclement weather, they're not really skipping a beat. They can still wear their spikes, work on things with Coach Anderson, our pitching coach, but most of the time spent in here is with our hitters. We've got 6 cages. We can put another net up here for 7 different stations. You may have heard Coach Pruitt say this is the decade of the Vols, which means we're on the incline and the upswing. We feel he stole that from us because it's on our banner right here. Augie Garrido is the winningest coach in college baseball history, and he came and spoke to our guys, and that's a phrase he kind of repeated over and over again to our guys, and they've bought into it. When our guys enter our facility, they're entering to prepare to play at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, so we've got a great photo of the new turf, a sunny sky, and the gorgeous background of the mountains here when they enter through these doors right here. This is where our guys enter the hallway and also where they exit, and as you can see, if they put in their work at our facility, they'll be headed to this facility, which is actually Ameriquest Field in Omaha. A gorgeous sunset there and a playoff game being participated in there, and that's what our future holds. This kind of serves as our classroom as much as anything. We try not to hold our guys in here too long, but we've had some great laughs in here, great memories, recognize certain people. We have some guest speakers, but we've got a great facility for our guys to be able to get in here and get some knowledge dropped on them. Chris Burke, former VFL, helped pay or fund this room, so he is up there in photo, but also in verse. He chose that verse, which is great for our guys to see. This is our team lounge for our players. Our guys hang out here all day long, sometimes all evening long. We've been known to give them the boot out here and tell them to go home and get some rest. But it's a great space, and there's plenty for them to do in here. And then in here, we also have another area where we recognize our Omaha teams, and our players were smart enough to realize or recognize there's a couple blank spaces up there for the next couple teams that are able to make appearance in Omaha. This is our new locker room. It's new because we knocked down the wall that was formerly here and opened this space up a little bit. So now all of our players can see one another across the whole locker room. There used to be an island here. Now we've got a power tee. We've got some sayings that we believe in up on the wall. This is where the Vols get stronger. This is our weight room. It's directly behind our dugout and right next to our locker room, so it's a perfect location. Like many areas, Coach Fulmer's helped us improve this area, and Quentin Eberhardt is our strength coach. He's made it a valuable area by running things in here with our guys. So underneath our stadium is where all of our players put in their work and their preparation. So when they're out here for competition day, they're ready to rock and roll. Our coaching staff up in the coach's office puts together our scouting report and our daily plan, and we kind of hang out over here in the corner. So I guess on a good day or a winning day, you could call us the Brain Trust. Right about here is where I stand on game day. I'm kind of semi-protected by the screen right here, but we're only about 20 yards or 2 first downs away from home plate. So it's easy to have your focus every pitch, and hopefully we don't have to be too focused next season. Can just high-five guys as they pass by doing their thing on the field. Hope to see you out here at the park sometime.
That's a great office. I have to come to every day.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, not at all. Man, appreciate the tour and taking us kind of behind the scenes there. You took another tour as well, I know. I know you went over to the shelter.
Yes.
And kind of had a chance to kind of go through there and take a look. Tell me about that, and again, just kind of what made you get involved today, why you wanted to be here so much.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick history and then kind of ending with my experience at the shelter is, as you mentioned, I'm from Missouri. I'm from St. Louis. Don't hold that against me, from the Midwest. And ironically, I went to Sacred Heart grade school, and we're on Sacred Heart Parish grounds right now in Knoxville. And I feel like I truly am in a better place, but not being from here originally, I really kind of want to get integrated with the community. And last year, this event was held in Old City in Knoxville, and Coach Fulmer, of course, got to go see the boss man speak. He did a phenomenal job there. But I went in kind of selfishly with that goal of meeting some people and hanging out and seeing a new venue, which was tremendous. What I came out of it with, and in the middle of it, realized was, man, this is serious. And I didn't expect to go to a lunch and be crying before I went to practice with our guys on the field. So obviously being raised Catholic was a little bit invested, walked out of there a lot invested. So it stuck with me, and you know, the one thing we got here today is I appreciate Catholic Charities pressing on in these times and coming up with this unique studio look. But it is a little colder not having a live audience and having those people you shake hands with. So anyone who's been stuck in front of their computer or stuck at home and feels like they're alone, put themselves in the shoes of these kids, or these, you know, in some cases adults too, that literally feel like they're on an island because they're consistently alone and they don't have somebody to go to. How I would relate that to the great sport of baseball and other team sports is people start out just wanting to be a part of something, whether it's, you know, again, adults, could be a work environment, for the kids, a team sport. And then, of course, once they're on their team, they want to get in the game. You know, it sounds like you and I were similar hitters. We weren't exactly hitting cleanup, so we good
thing we could catch.
Yeah, so we just wanted an opportunity to be out there, and you know, it's somewhat of a parallel. I mean, a lot of these kids, they just want to be a part of something, and they're kind of reaching for something to call home or call their team or their family. And Catholic Charities steps in and gives them that opportunity. And then, of course, again, once you're on a team, you want in the game. And some of these kids, they're not fortunate enough, like you and I were growing up, to be in the quote-unquote game of life. And so they need assistance. And that's the whole purpose of what we got going on today. And, you know, selfishly being here today, again, I hate to go too much more into coach speak, but selfishly being here as a coach, you always want to win.
Right.
And Vol fans, they like sitting in front of the TV or in the stands and seeing a win. I learned that in a hurry. And if you do it, they'll appreciate it more than anybody in the world. But I want to win today, and you know, just don't want to win by achieving our goal. We want to smash our goal.
Right.
And if I was to coach our team, the one thing I would bring up that, again, is a parallel to today, there is no small player. And of course, you got to have big players too. But it takes both to complement each other in order to achieve a goal. I know one day we met with our guys and I brought up the movie Top Gun, which hopefully the younger generation has seen it. Speaking of growing up Catholic, it's blasphemy to have a Top Gun 2 or a remake, whatever they're doing. But the old Top Gun that you and I know, obviously Tom Cruise is the star.
Right.
And then there's a couple other major players in there too. But when they made that movie, there was people in charge of lighting. The soundtrack's phenomenal. There's a lot of people that did a phenomenal job, and it came together and was an epic movie, at least in my humble and young opinion at the time, you know. And so today you have people, the 365 deal is phenomenal. $1 a day that no one is going to miss. We all spend way too much money at Starbucks or DoorDash and things like that. Just actually walk into the place and save $5, and you can donate it to people we're talking about, like I said, that just want to be in the game. And then, you know, maybe there's people that are in a better position or more ambitious that can give a greater amount. You obviously need those people as well. And, you know, it applies, you know, to maybe those people, again, that are in a better position. Why do they invest their money when, you know, they want a return on their investment? Or if they'd say if they could go back in time, they would start investing earlier, because there's a multiplier effect. And the one thing that makes me, I need to hold myself accountable, get more involved in young kids' lives, is that multiplier effect is incredible with young kids. If they grow up in an unloving environment and are not given opportunities, they're set up to do the same to other people down the road. And then if they are given a chance and given hope, they're set up to help other people. And so that multiplier effect is the same thing you'd see as a wealthy investor, and how your money grows and multiplies in a tremendous way. I truly feel the same thing exists with young kids. And that's why if you're tuning in, or you know someone that's not tuning in or could tune in later to a link, 365 HOPE is an easy text. You're sitting there on your couch or at your office and texting that to the number that I don't want to mistake, but it's an 865 number, 865-413-4252. It's just that easy to either be the small player or the big player, somewhere in between, but to contribute to this team that can win today.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And as you were saying, for these kids, I mean, it's really an opportunity for them. They're coming from a not great situation, but this gives them, like you said, it puts them in a home that it feels like a home. I mean, it's like the people that care about them, that are helping them, they can continue to stay focused and try to be as much of a kid that they can, despite the situation.
Right.
Keep progressing. And again, as you said, it takes a lot of different people to do that. I know when you were over at the shelter, we had some video of you. You were signing a baseball that you left there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know the kids were excited about that. You had a chance to do that, kind of left it up on the wall. They even had some sports cards hanging up. Here you are. I know when you were kind of taking a tour there, and we'll see your signature coming up here on the baseball. But athletics too, for children, a chance to give these kids something to do, whether it's baseball, football, soccer, or what have you, a chance to run around and play, goes a long way just for their health, for their mental health, physical health, and really just kind of getting outside and being a kid.
Yeah, and there's Mookie Betts would have signed that thing. It'd be a lot more valuable, but at least that's relevant to Knoxville. And when I first walked in, the first thing I saw was kind of the lounge area, or the meeting area for the kids, and it was crazy. It was like, this is exactly what we have for our players, and we use it in recruiting to make people feel like this could be their home, and this is where they'd hang out with their family, is the baseball team when they're on campus. And the exact same setup was available there. Just it was much cleaner at the shelter than it is around our guys. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna say, I'm sure you've had to really kind of go in there and say, guys, okay, let's neaten this place up a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to give this to you for a moment. A young man there came up with this photo for you.
That's
picture,
phenomenal.
Made this picture, and it's great. And we got this frame for you, something you can take back to the office there to kind of say thank you for everything that you've done, being here today, supporting the shelter. Got the baseball on there. Even got a little big orange down there in the corner there. I don't know if that's you or if that's him, but just something for you to hang and kind of remember and just show that the kids really do appreciate it.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And I can guarantee them, I appreciate it. Hopefully there's a good view of that, but good artwork. And like you said, it's got a little bit of everything, and the timing could not be better because I'm kind of redoing the office, and there's a blank space on the wall for this. Perfect. For sure.
Perfect. Fantastic. So if he's watching, congratulations. Coach has got it. It's going up on the wall. Job well done there. Kind of transition for a moment, Coach. Well, since we're talking a little bit of baseball, you kind of mentioned COVID. I mean, this is a tough time, and a lot of people out there kind of wondering, how do you function? I know we talked before we came on air, fall ball's underway.
Right.
But you still got to recruit. There's a lot of things you still do. You're constantly on the go. So how have you had to readjust and keep that focus, and hopefully we'll be playing some ball here in the spring?
Yeah, we've really had to adapt as far as the recruiting goes, and then coaching our guys too. You have a mask on, and at times we're distanced enough we can talk to them, but it's been about kind of overcoming adversity, which is the story of athletics and really life anyway. And the guys have been great about it. That's the number one thing I'd say. And I think all athletes at Tennessee have cooperated, would be the word. I think it's been a little frustrating at times for them, but we're getting things done, and we're getting to a better place. And I don't know how bright the light is at the end of the tunnel, but I do believe it's there. And it's been fun to be back on that field, I can tell you that. We all, including the coaches, act like a bunch of 12-year-old kids run around that field because we missed it, and now you kind of savor the opportunity to do it a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year kind of came to an abrupt halt. A lot of expectations coming off a really successful 2019 season. So hopefully you can kind of carry that in. How do you keep that momentum going? Because it was a good, 2019 was a good year. It was great to be back in the NCAAs, and now you kind of 2020 is a speed bump for everybody. So how do you pick up where you left off, say, in 2019? Or I guess really you had a good start in 2020. So how do you carry that over?
We kind of had the theme unfinished business because we felt like we were going to a great place, and it's easy to see why when you see a guy like Garrett Crochet throwing 102 miles an hour on TV. But he's not here, and even the guys that are here, it's a new story, it's a new chapter. So while we do want to pick up that momentum, that unfinished business theme has kind of been motivating us, but it's also kind of fading away, and it's kind of becoming more about this current group. And how do you overcome those things and build team chemistry when you can't, sit around and do some of the things we normally do? And like I said, they've been cooperative, and it's also a very talented group. And our team is going to be loaded with talent this year because so many kids came back from COVID, but so are other college baseball teams. So it's a good year to become a college baseball fan.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be exciting, and SEC is always exciting, top to bottom. I mean, it's a fight every year.
Yeah, and the cat's out of the bag. There's rumors of us copying football and playing not an all SEC schedule, but many more SEC games. And for a fan at Tennessee or any other, fanatical fan in the SEC, it could be a dream spring coming. So
headache for you, maybe? Or you like it? Do you like it? But I'm sure, like any coach, you like a little bit of a tune-up. So
No, you'd like to get your feet wet a little bit, but whatever they throw at us, we'll take. We kind of still have the low man on the totem pole approach, at least mentally over there. And so, show us where to go. We'll play whoever, and if we don't do as well as we want, we'll get back to work.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm noticing here just a few moments ago, we eclipsed 28,000. We're pushing that 29,000 mark. Again, the phone number 865-413-4252. All you got to do is text 365-HOPE. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, it's
and maybe it's gone up a little bit since I mentioned Garrett Crochet's name. He signed for quite a hefty sum in the first round, so maybe he can contribute. And I know we got some guys over at the stadium that are doing some work today practice-wise, but afterwards they've talked more and more about let's get involved in the community, and this is something that we want to contribute to as well.
Definitely, and again, when it goes back to the kids, it's tough to say no. That is for sure, to help out these young folks.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had some kids come over, and obviously young kids camps too, but we have done some things, and I think our guys get a bigger high out of that than sometimes they do out of a win. They don't realize it at the time, but once they truly get involved and are kind of running around with some of these younger folks, they see themselves in the younger kids, and they realize, and someone had an impact on me, and now I'm maybe impacting this kid, even if it's for 30 minutes.
And that may play even further down the road as they get older, whether they get into coaching or what have you. And you kind of talked about that multiplier, that giving back, that domino effect, that they at some point will go, you know what, that was so much fun. I want to go back and have an impact on somebody else's life.
Sure, and it's rewarding. I mean, we try and get these guys to not be short-sighted, but they're 18 and 19, so it's kind of a losing battle at times. But if you invest more in the long run or the long term, not only do you want to be a good freshman, you want a good career at Tennessee, but I think they realize too, this is something that is rewarding. Giving to a cause like this or getting involved in a young kid's life is rewarding for days after. It's not your short term, man, that felt good for a couple seconds. It's more about a long-term satisfaction and gratifying feel.
Yeah, definitely. Can I ask you, we got all this food sitting here, baseball. You're more of a popcorn, Cracker Jack kind of guy, hot dog, extra innings. Do you ever sit there and think, God, if I could just, someone bring me something from the concession stand, you're like in the 15th or something, you're thinking, I'm starving.
Throwing BP helps me burn calories, so maybe I don't look like it, but I'm kind of the guy that wolfs down everything. Okay. You mentioned the Cardinals, and this is an off-the-cuff story, but we were in high school. We didn't have much money, but somehow we got tickets to a Cardinals-Padres playoff game. In the row in front of us, they didn't eat all their nachos, and they were sitting underneath the seats.
Do you really want to go here? I know where this might be.
It was not me that ate it, but we had one of our guys was kind of the eater of the group, and I won't mention his name because he could be listening, but he was nudged a few times, and eventually he caved, and he got himself some free nachos.
Well, you go to some of those Major League Baseball parks, nachos are not cheap,
No.
You go to a Braves game, no offense, I love the Braves, but, sometimes you go to these parks, it costs a little bit. Right?
No doubt. And we've got college students right down the road that, they'll take anything you'll give them. And that was an example in that case back in the high school days.
Oh, that is hysterical. That is hysterical. It is baseball season, though. We're starting to wrap up. But you guys are kind of just, how long does fall ball go? How long are you guys be able to go here until you have to kind of wrap things up and start looking at the spring?
Yeah, we started later than we normally do because, MLB had a COVID conversation going on at first, but I thought there were some injuries that took place early on because they rushed into things. Yeah. It was all of a sudden we're going to play. Yeah. And so we wanted to take our time, and we started on October 1st with our scrimmage season. and that'll go till about mid-November. And until then, our stadium is open. We're outside. There's not going to be enough people where social distancing would be an issue. And some people have come over to watch our guys, and our guys have been competing, and there's some talent there. So there's something to see if you're looking for an outdoor activity.
I was going to say, yeah, you come out there, plenty of space there. You sit down in the chairs, relax a little bit, watch some the guys scrimmage. And like I said, social distancing is one positive for baseball. I mean, you know, between from first and second, it's a lot more than 6 feet. That is for sure. So there's definitely some distancing out there, and even out in the outfield. Again, I just want to remind everybody, we're going to be taking your donations. Again, 413-4252-365-HOPE, 865. It's just that simple. If you don't know how to text a donation, call your niece and nephew, or go grab the next door neighbor's kid. They can definitely tell you how to take care of all that. It's very, very easy to do.
Yeah,
not hard at all.
There was some tutoring that went on with my parents during COVID on how to use FaceTime or any other things. So
I'd FaceTime my dad and I'd get the ear. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not talking to you on the phone. I'm talking to you this way.
Sure.
Dad, if you're watching, I'm sorry I threw that out there. Anything else you want to say, Coach? Well, first of all, we really do appreciate you coming over here today. I know you're busy. It is a busy time of year for you. But anything just to kind of say to those that are out there watching us right now?
No, just to take the time. I mean, a lot of times we find ourselves in a big hurry in this day and age, even right now with some things being clamped down. And I think to take the time and to kind of measure out how you can contribute to the area you live in, and then also people that are a little less fortunate. And inevitably what happens when you do so, again, you've got a greater feeling about yourself. You might even have a little good karma going your way, but you forget about the $5, the $100, the $365 that was just $1 a day subtraction. You never even miss it, and meanwhile it's in the hands of somebody that absolutely needs it and absolutely benefits from it.
Also, I want to remind everybody a couple things to think about. If you're not able to help out today, that's okay. There's going to be some opportunities. You can actually keep giving until October 31st, so you have until Halloween to continue to contribute and help out the shelter. Also, you can go to the website CCETN.org. Again, that's CCETN, Catholic Charities East Tennessee.org. You can help out there. And then coming up in about, we'll say Friday. Today's Wednesday, right?
Correct.
In this COVID world, sometimes you forget what day it is. By Friday, we should have a replay here up for you. If you want to go back, hear anything Coach had to say, whether talking about the shelter or the upcoming baseball season. Also, if you know someone that wanted to watch, wasn't able to take a look at it, we'll have this up on YouTube for you as well, so you can chime in there and make those donations. But again, I do want to repeat just one more time for you the phone numbers. We're pushing that 29,000 mark, 865-413-4252. It's 365-HOPE. Very easy to do. Sit down, talk about it. We're looking for a $365 donation. It's $1 a day when you break it down. It's not bad at all. I know it's a tough time out there for some, and we understand every little bit helps. But if you're able to match that 365, it goes a long way. That's for sure.
Yeah, easy peasy. A lot easier than hitting a baseball. Although you said the baseball hit you quite a few times when we were up.
Yeah, I led the league a couple times in getting hit at the plate. I think I just crowded the plate too much. So I'll just use that as my excuse. But I got on base.
That's the ultimate team
and what is it,
sacrifice.
Moneyball? It's getting on base. Was they were talking about how you get there as long as you got there, right?
For sure.
So, but again, Coach, thanks so much for coming in. And again, we want to thank everybody for taking some time, for joining us out there in this virtual world. It is 2020. Hopefully we'll get to do this next year with a crowd. We'll be able to feed off of them and get to mingle a little bit, shake some hands, and get to talk to these people face to face.
Yeah, I'll miss the baseball layout here. This is phenomenal, but being around a crowd would be great.
This would be good.
But again, I think that relates to what we're trying to do today, and hopefully people realize these folks need support, and they need to be a part of a team, just like most people in Tennessee feel they're diehard Vol fans and are part of something. And heck, maybe a little bit of donation adds a little bit of karma to Vol Nation, and we beat Bama this weekend on Saturday.
Hey, you know what? I tell you what, if that's what it takes, let's do it. Well, matter of fact, we'll just challenge all the Vol fans out there to go ahead and make a donation. Whatever size you can do to help out, it goes an incredible long way, as we've already been showing you here for the past hour. So again, thank you so very much for supporting Columbus Home Children's Emergency Shelter and Catholic Charities of East Tennessee. Again, Coach, thanks so much for coming by. We're going to get this number up. Again, we have until October 31st. Check it out on Friday on YouTube. Also go to CCETN.org. So many different ways for you to donate. But 365-HOPE, 865-413-4252. Coach, thanks. Good luck this year as well to all the guys.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. And thank you to everybody contributing out there.
Thank you.